Hey, you're in bed with Dan Owen, and yeah, I've got some questions and I'm going to play a few songs in a bit. But first question, what happened last night? Last night, I think I just met a mate that I haven't seen since like way before the whole lockdown thing started. And it was really good weather last night, so we went out our local river and went and took a couple of beers and then had a swim around in the river and stuff, and found a little boat under the thing. And so yeah, that was last night. Which country has the most comfortable beds? I would have to say Premier Inn have the best beds in the UK. They are like, I've had amazing nights sleep in those. How many hours sleep do you need to at least feel good? I'd say 8 hours sleep is what I try and get, but doesn't always work out like that when you're touring. But I try and get 8 hours sleep. And yeah, the funniest, weirdest place I've ever fallen asleep, I'd say when I first started gigging, I went out to France. When I first started gigging abroad, and I used to go out and fly. I just had a guitar case and I'd get on the plane and fly out to these places, never know where I was quite going or who I was meeting or anything. And I ended up getting flown out to France, to this little town, and ended up doing the gig, which was great, and then meeting some of the like local people and stuff, and they were giving me some local drinks and things like that, which was a bad idea. Then it came time to go back to the hotel, and I couldn't actually get into the hotel because it had all been like locked up and shut. So I ended up, it was raining, chucking it down with rain, and I had to sleep on a park bench in the rain. So that was a pretty weird place to wake up in, somewhere in France on a park bench. Do I have a preferred side of the bed? I'd say this is my actual bed, which I think is weird, but this is my side of the bed. I always sleep on my left-hand side because it's something to do with the insides and the way that the acid can come up here, and it can be bad for your voice. There's a little tip for singers. Where are we now? The best place in the universe to fall asleep. I'd say, now and again, we haven't been allowed to at the minute, but when I can go camping again, I usually got a couple of mates and we got bivvy bags, and we go up and sleep on the hills and things of Shropshire, and we sleep, and you can just see the stars and the Milky Way, and have a little hip flask of whiskey, and we sleep up there just camping without a tent. And I think that's the perfect place to sleep, up there. Does the sound of a coffee machine get me out of bed in the morning? And it actually doesn't. I'm not a coffee drinker, and I think probably the only person in England that doesn't drink tea either. Not out of choice, I just never got into it, just never happened. Last question, which monster sleeps under your bed? And I hope there's no monsters under here. I think all that's under this bed is PA systems, guitar cases, my first ever acoustic guitar, and this is all my pub gigging gear is hidden under here because I live in a little flat. But yeah, and that was the last question. So I'm going to play you some songs now. Here we go.
People say, boy,